I'm focused on his spirit cause it keeps me from his pride. The Holy Ghost was with me, so my fear I leave behind. My sins were all diminished when he took that breath and died. And if you think I'ma give up on my God, the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie.
Hello, this is Christina Barney watching Black Tea News. Hello. Welcome to Black Tea News. I'm your host, Christina Barr, and today we're going to be talking about an influencer by the name of Harry Sisson and some big drama that has come up his way because a lot of these Democrat influencers, he gets paid by a company named Palette Media, that Palette Media gets paid by the DNC. They try to act like they're not paid actors, but there's been receipts. So anyway, they have huge followings on TikTok and other places on X, but mostly like TikTok, and they have a lot of young followers. And they get on their platform and they do really bad propaganda like all the time, all the time. And they try to make it seem like, oh, Republicans are bad, Democrats are good, and I'm a good guy. I care about women. I respect women, their body autonomy, their rights. I lit blah, 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 male feminist jargon. And it turns out that he is a playa. Now, I think this is interesting stuff. People are calling him out. I don't think ultimately it's going to hurt him too bad because unless there's content that comes out where he's like flat out abused people. I haven't seen that in the threads that I've gone through, but I want to talk about it because it just really, I'm of the opinion that you really shouldn't trust male feminists because men and women are different. And if dudes are telling you too much of what you want to hear, maybe a lot of time it's coming from a insincere place of not really caring about you, but trying to get into your pants. So I just think women need to be very careful about these kinds of dudes. Their whole kind of clique I'd be very careful about, but they have a lot of influence. And I'm going to try not to say too much about the girls. They're like, don't attack the girls, but I have some questions as well. I'm mostly baffled that girls would like him, I guess. I mean, he has money and he's famous, so I guess it shouldn't be too shocking, but this kid like is like an anti-Riz billboard. So it's all very strange to me. I also want to talk about Chuck Schumer and something he had said the other day that was pretty disrespectful, pretty crazy to me, and go on from there. There's other news. The astronauts who were stranded in space, though people say they weren't stranded or whatever, well, they definitely needed Elon Musk to get home. They came back yesterday. It was a beautiful scene where there are like dolphins waiting in the water. Though dolphins aren't my favorite. I know they're a lot of fun for people, but I've read some weird things about dolphins, but the dolphins were waiting and it's just, beautiful, and they brought them home. And so it was a really cool moment for Elon and just, American ingenuity and stuff. And you got Democrats out here just acting crazy. So it's just, I don't know. It's just two different mirrors of civilization, two different images that you see of people who want to build things and do better and people who want to whine and complain and just scam and skim from folks. But before we jump into everything, I want to encourage you guys to go back to news.com, check out different content on the website, articles, videos, etc. If you like what I do, please consider leaving a donation on the website because it does cost to stream and run my site, all the good stuff you guys can't support. I very much do appreciate you guys. You guys can also check out different merch that's available on the website as well. Like this shirt, my sister brought it yesterday when I started telling about the Harry Sisson stuff. Pro-choice men are sus as in suspect. Because they get on talking about how women are this, women are that, we respect women, blah blah blah, and push comes to shove, and that's not always the case. A lot of times it is not. So you can get merch like that, and then other merch as well, mugs and other t-shirts and whatnot. You guys can also check out different books that I have available on my website. My website's ninjadustpublishing.com, but there's a link in the description. It'll take you to an Amazon page with some of my books on it where you guys can learn stuff. By the way, I haven't really messed with Grok too much. Grok is the AI on X that Elon, pushes out and promotes or whatever. But you can just at first I thought you had to have a subscription to use Grok, and maybe you did. But so I just started messing with it yesterday. Start asking it different questions, and then I started like asking it questions to help me like write my book, like different historical things that would take me a while to maybe look up through different sources, and it just all this information. So I'm like, well, that's really cool. So I just wanted to put that out there that those kind of resources are, I guess, available to folks. Not that you should totally trust AI, because their results that they might pop up aren't always going to be correct, or their conclusions. But it pretty interesting stuff, and I found it to be quite helpful so far. So just wanted to add that little tidbit. Hello to those of you in the chat, on those of you on Facebook watching, those on YouTube who are watching, and those to you who watch back later. I appreciate all of you. Hope your day is going well. We are midway through the week already moving so fast. So anyway, yesterday I hopped on TikTok and I saw one of my mutuals, the older millennial, who's been kicked off of TikTok a lot. And I don't even know all the reasons why. Like during election time, he would get like crazy views, and then they would keep kicking him off. And his videos weren't like even like wildly offensive to be kicked off, but the platform like hated him. I don't know if it just so many people mass reported him or whatever, but he was using different phones and using all kinds of different methods to try to keep his accounts up, but they would just keep getting deleted or whatever. So anyway, it seems like, I don't know, that period of his life is kind of over right now, and he's been consistently being able to post. But he posted a video about Harry Sisson, who is a huge TikTok influencer, who is a mouthpiece, I would say propagandist, for the Democrat Party. And he's interviewed different Democrats. He's spoken with, President Biden. I think he did an interview with Josh Shapiro, and he's in the ends, and he gets paid through a group called Palette Media. Palette Media gets paid through the DNC. So they'll try to be like, oh, I'm not paid, but they are paid by this group that's paid by the DNC. So there's that link there. So there's Harry Sisson, there's Dean Withers, there's Chris Mallory, and Parker. I don't know Parker's last name. Parker's last name. But you've seen some of these people on Jubilee debating people like Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, Dean on there. I haven't seen Harry on those kinds of things. Harry doesn't seem like he's that good at debate. They do have these different strategies, particularly Dean and Parker, where they'll just talk so fast, and they'll be really snooty and just really have an unearned arrogance about them. And if they go on lives, they'll interact a lot with their crowd a lot, who will give them gifts, and it seems like they kind of use that to bob and weave a bit when they talk to folks. But um it's just I'm not too fond of that clique, but they have a ton of followers, a ton of followers, a ton of traction. But people are finding out that Harry isn't all what he was cracked up to be, because he was apparently talking to a lot of girls, and he would be on Snapchat with them, ask them to send like private sort of photos, and he would save them, and they would say, hey, you're not talking to other girls, because I'm not the one. Like, if you're talking to other girls and doing Snapchats and things like this with other girls, I don't want to be part of this. He's like, no, I don't have a roster of girls. I don't have a roster of girls. And he was talking to some of them for a while, and turned out that he was also talking to other girls, and they started finding out about each other. One time he went live, and I guess he had hickeys on him, and a girl, one of the girls was like, what the heck? And then he put out like a thirst trap video. Now the thirst trap video was kind of funny because it was weird. It didn't seem very natural to me, but it was like a girl like rubbing on his lip, and he was like mouthing some music. And a lot of people started doing videos and claiming that the person who was doing it was Dylan Mulvaney. And there's just been a lot of like someone he was like said he's a soy boy in the comments. He's very non-masculine. Like, I know he's like a kid, but he's just like the anti-Riz kid. To me, it's just there was a lot of people who were making a lot of jokes and insinuations about him and his buddy Chris, and people there's a lot of jokes surrounding this scandal right now, and people are like, wow, these women have been exposed as liking Harry, like they exposed him as being straight. And it's so there's a lot of jokes that way. But in a more serious note, these women are very upset, and there's at least 11. At least there were 11, but it seemed like there was plus 11 last night. I think there's been more info, like he's attached to someone who might have been with a minor, but I don't think Harry himself has been with a minor. From what I can see, what I've seen so far, Harry is just, talking to these girls. I don't even know if he slept with any of them, but it's all like online Snapchat, and they're upset that they did send things to him, and they would like certain things deleted that he liked because they weren't exclusive. And he was gaslighting and saying that some of these girls are crazy, and wanted some of them to say that some of these things going out weren't true, or whatever. So he's not taking any accountability. So that's really like the main thing. There's nothing criminal going on here that I've seen so far. Maybe I have missed something, but I haven't seen anything criminal yet. So we're going to go through some of this stuff. But the main thing I would say is that it just really exposes Harry as talking a lot of crap, but not really caring and valuing women. So this thread was composed by Sarah Fields, and she's got some receipts. You can go on TikTok and look at some of these women's profiles who have talked about Harry Sisson, and some of the videos go into great length. I'm not going to really play a lot of these videos for time's sake, but the receipts are out there. So Sarah said Harry Sisson convinced 11 different women that he had no roster and respected them for more than their bodies, while persuading them to send explicit photos of themselves through Snapchat, including one from a domestic abuse survivor. When the women discovered each other one by one, he called them all insane and attempted to coerce one of them into telling the public that the photos were fake. A request to the reader, set political differences aside. I believe both sides of the aisle can agree that this is unacceptable behavior from a man child with collectively over 2 million followers. So there's some of these things, a lot of people are opting not to put on TikTok in case they get banned. This one's kind of blurry, but there was something about he wanted to bleep her raw, and I this is where I don't understand. Because if someone said anything like that to me, it would just I would never do anything to like what these girls did. But if someone sent a text like that to me, they would just be blocked forever. They'd be blocked forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It's so not maybe that floats your boat. Like he said he wanted to bleep her raw after like a wine tasting or something. I It'd be like alarm bells. Beep, 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 beep. If even if you liked somebody and they said something like that, if you are not in a committed, like permanent sort of committed or heading toward a permanent commitment, which I would suggest that you really don't sleep around unless you're married. Well, you don't sleep around, but if you're going to sleep with someone, it should be your husband and your wife. If someone does something to you raw, that means they're not wearing a condom. And if you're having unprotected sex like that, you could obviously get knocked up. And I know they're pro-choice. If he's pro-choice, his followers, I'm assuming, are all pro-choice. You just shouldn't prep to do the nasty, especially in a way that might make a baby. So if someone was willing to say something that vulgar, that forward, and stupid, I just would be like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Um, Someone said, "Why would you send nude pictures that you don't know that well?" They had been, I guess, speaking for a minute. I don't know how explicit some of these photos are. Like some of them are sexy. I haven't seen, and I assume she wouldn't. Some of these girls don't want to put them out. I don't know what all has been sent to Sarah, but I would be careful about passing that kind of stuff around. But if they did send him those kind of photos and they want him to delete those kind of photos, that RC raised a valid question, like why would you send those photos? I don't know why people do the things that they do. I don't know why a lot of girls do it. A lot of, people send sexy text and images to folks, and sometimes those things get hacked and sometimes those things get leaked. Destiny got in trouble. The streamer Destiny, he's still like around. He's not like canceled or something, but he was sleeping around and doing a lot of shady stuff, and apparently stuff was getting leaked or sent and stuff by him, folks he was with, and there's just a big kind of mess there. But sometimes there's like revenge porn where people, send out stuff to embarrass their partner or their ex or whatever. And there's laws against that. So if you can do those things at your own peril, I guess, depending on what state you're in. But I don't understand that, because if you put something through an app like that or through social media or whatever, and people can save the snaps, there's a chance that it can get out there somewhere. And I hope at the end of the day, a lot of these young women have learned a valuable lesson about doing these sorts of things and engaging like this with all kinds of guys. But it was just a bad thing to do. Period. But so this is a clip of Harry. This isn't Harry who you can see in this video right here. He's talking to somebody, and he's saying that the girls are crazy.
Don't read on live. Yeah, I saw about this. Like actually lunatics. Like genuinely, they are this individual in question is insane.
Wait, who are we talking?
And so, I'll send I can share with Chris. I'll send a screenshot. Yeah, no, like legitimately, Chris and I have been talking about this for days now.
Uh-oh.
This individual
Wait,
is
who?
fucking crazy.
Wait,
bro.
what?
If you want to support the live,
Bro,
makes
that
incredible
bro.
moves. I'm saying, dude. I am saying.
No, you be good out there, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You be safe.
That's also what
He
I'm
said.
saying.
That's what he
Kogo.
said. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I don't read.
I'm not sure who that kid is because I don't think that's Chris. So this girl here, this was like 48 seconds. Let me just go ahead and watch a longer video.
I've been trying to figure out how I want to word a video regarding this. But I think what I'm going to just say is I've never been the woman that has called out behavior like this. I've never been.
Oh, you know what? She doesn't really say much in this video except like kudos to the girls who are calling him out. She got into it with she found out there was another girl who was talking to him, and that girl reached out to her and was like, "Are you talking to him?" And she didn't know the girl that well, so she didn't want to say that she was. And then she ended up becoming friends with that girl, and then Harry tried to contact her to get her to cut off the other girl and like deny other sorts of different things. So I don't know. To me, honestly, a lot of this sounds, I haven't seen anything criminal. I'm not saying nothing criminal has happened, but a lot of this, I'm thinking of that movie, John Tucker Must Die. It wasn't a great movie, but it was with Brittany Snow, and I can't think of any other actors. There's famous actors who's in it, but I can't think of some of their names. Bradley was in it too. Bagley from You, Joe. Yeah, but he had probably a very minor role. But I watched the trailer the other day or a clip from, I'm like, is Pins in that movie? And it must have been, maybe it was pre-Gossip Girl. I don't know. But the premise of that movie is that there's different girls who's dating like this basketball captain, best player. He's the cool guy in high school. And then all these girls find out that they're all dating him. And so they're like, oh, John Tucker must die. Not literally die, but they want to like ruin him. So there's this other girl who's like, you girls are just all, fighting each other over him. That's crazy. And they're like, oh, how about we use you? We're going to make you very attractive to him. And then you're going to make him fall in love with you. And then we're going to break his heart so he knows what it feels like. So they start kind of scheming, but they do start scheming to find ways to make him fall in love with a girl. And he does like fall for her. And, and then she realizes what she did was mean. And, there's resolution. I don't think they're together at the end of the movie. Maybe she was with Pin. I saw it one time a long time ago, but that's what this is making me think of. It's not really Me Too. So Sarah is using a lot of language like these are the victims, Harry's victims, and they were lied to. But when people hear victims, I think they think that they are sexually abused, that they're physically abused, and that there's people grooming minors and things like that. And at least in the information that she put out last night, I didn't see things like that. So if people want to like cancel him from the face of the earth because of this stuff, I don't think it what I've seen. I'm not saying there's not other stuff. I haven't seen it raised to the level of seriousness of like Me Too stuff. I mean, there's a lot of like minor mundane things that got really, really exaggerated in the Me Too stuff, but like we know like serious kind of predatorial things in the Me Too stuff. This just but he's a dog. He's a dog, and he's a liar. It is not good for his brand. It's not good for his brand, and it's not really good for the Democrats. So this woman Carly, I've seen a couple of her videos on TikTok, and she followed Harry, and she reached out to him, and so she said, "I'm really proud of what you're doing." So some of you are probably like, red flags, red flags, red flags, because why would anyone be proud of what Harry Sisson is doing? You know, they're fans of his. So she reached out to him, and so she had told him like, hey, if you want someone to go live with you to share the perspective of a domestic violence survivor, or maybe she said maybe she said SA victim, but she was a she would share her experience. And so they started I'll go ahead and just read the summary. Carly, one of Harry's victims, has described the situation in most detail. Some of her videos, according to Carly, Harry wooed her from the very beginning and convinced her that he respected her for more than just physical appearance. She said even though she's embarrassed to admit it, she created a private chat to chat with Harry that was meant for his eyes only, where she shared explicit photos of herself with him. He loved it. He loved that I was not entertaining anyone else that way, that I was entertaining him. Harry told her that she was wifey material and was sold on her wife applications. After 6 months of this behavior, he told her that he didn't want a commitment. She accused him of leading her on, to which he admitted to doing, but also said he should have made his intentions clear. Directly after this, Harry posted a photo of a thirst trap of him and his new girlfriend on TikTok. The video shows him lying in bed with a girl while she provocatively swipes her hand across his face. Prior to the thirst trap, Carly watched Harry go live and observed hickeys on his neck from a different girl. She confronted Harry and told her she was overreacting. Carly had recently been through a traumatic car accident and was dealing with depression at the time. Carly stated that Harry pounced and took advantage of her sadness. Carly decided to go on live on TikTok to share her story. And this is when she discovered during the 9 months that she was talking to Harry was leading multiple other women on the exact same time. He had told them exact same things and had convinced them to send him explicit messages through Snapchat platform. Harry told the other women that he had no other roster. So she's the one who's like, hey, you can't be talking to other girls. I'm not that girl, to be sending you stuff and you're with other girls or whatever. So they feel betrayed and they were lied to. And that's, I don't think that's up for dispute. And he seems to be just trying to ignore all this stuff. Like he's still posting on X and he's still posting on TikTok. Got to get that money, those clicks and views, right? And there's a lot of people leaving comments on his page. So, but at the same time, he's a dog. He's a dog, and he is a liar. And now he's not just a liar. He's a flat out propagandist. And I understand that I guess a lot of these girls who are his fans, or maybe all of them, I suppose, are also left wing and they believe what he believes. But if you just look into the things that he's saying or how he phrases things, I just don't understand how you cannot know that he's a liar. And if he would lie to you to amass his following, of course he would lie to you in private on Snapchat when you send him things. So y'all got played by a liar who is paid to lie. So I don't know. I feel like girls should go talk to their dads and should talk to their brothers. Like my dad always talked about, I guess he never really sat down too much and with all of us and had conversations about game and things, but he maybe I don't know, my older sister or whatever, and he would just say things about guys. He said you got to prepare girls for men in their game, and you have to also give them lots of affirmation. So if someone says, hey, you're cute, it's not the first time they heard it and they lose their mind because some guy is doting on them or whatever. Like you have to build up if you have a daughter, you have to build up their self-esteem so someone else doesn't, come on the scene and do that and take advantage of them. And also, like, talk to your brothers. Like my younger sister, oh, but before I get to my brother, my dad, he would go to churches and he would say, like, you gotta prepare your daughters, like you gotta teach them about these things. So he give that kind of advice to folks all over. My sister, my younger sister, she would go to my brother about advice with boys and things like that. So I don't know where the male influences are in these girls' lives. They all seem to be adults, but I just feel like you shouldn't be sending Snapchats, explicit photos to dudes. But if you are in that part of your relationship, they certainly should have at least been over to meet your dad. And there's just so many mistakes here. Like, I know they don't want people to talk about the girls, but that's just the risk of you, I guess, putting your business out on social media. I'm flabbergasted, guys. I am. I'm sorry. I am. And then there's chats with, she has receipts that she posted with him, like, reacting to some of the chats and stuff. He's like, I never lied to you, we were not exclusive, and I made it abundantly clear I didn't want that, and you said that it was fine. I haven't done anything that wasn't allowed within the parameters we set. What and why are you screenshotting? And there was one about the it was like, he's like taking photos in the shower, like it's so weird. And oh, I think is this one of these. He's like, looks amazing. He said, God, that bleep, that A is fat. So that people are sharing that screenshot a lot. It's just so weird. Like, this, I don't even know what to make of it. Like, I know, I guess young white dudes will talk like that, but it seems so strange. But I don't know how explicit her photos got. This one says, the verdict is in, you look sexy as bleep, court adjourned. Like, it's just, who falls for this? I'm sorry. So Carly said that she's fighting for accountability, not for herself, but on behalf of everyone who believed this guy was someone he's not. To this day, he has yet to acknowledge he did anything wrong, and that's really sad. However, I have to say I'm beyond blessed and frankly shocked to have connected with so many amazing people over this horrible experience. Thank you for confirming that my feelings throughout those 9 months were valid. And so other girls started kind of saying things in chats, like, and then they started messaging each other, and so girls started connecting with each other, connecting all these dots. So I think this was like a live or something with them, a messenger with these girls talking.
If he had flat told us, hey, I am talking to other people, when we asked, when all, like, a fucking dozen of us asked, hey, are you talking to anybody? Instead, he lied and said he did not have a roster and that he was not talking to anybody.
Yeah, so so again, they keep calling them victims and talking about their past with, like, domestic survivors and stuff. I think that's I don't want to be, I don't like Harry. I don't want to defend Harry, but I think some of this language is unfair unless there's things that haven't come out yet. This is from Harry. You definitely have a lot to offer, no doubt. I think I can't do exclusivity, not because I'm not getting not because I'm getting nudes from a bunch of girls or bleeping girls and stuff. I don't hook up with anyone ever. but and to my knowledge, I don't think he has hooked up with these girls, but because I just don't think I'd be able to commit 100% to something. Also, since we live in different states, exclusivity would be hard. So I'm not balancing a bunch of girls at once. My mind and energy are just other places right now, and I don't have much more to give. It's not that there's competition. I'm not getting nudes from a bunch of girls, or a bunch of girls or whatever. So he kept saying that. So he like blatantly lied, and that is wrong, and that it was wrong to mislead and these girls. But there's a lot of trashy men out there, and he's a young man with like 2 million followers, and he's a player. He's a scumbag. It's not Harvey Weinstein. Unless there's Harvey Weinstein's kind of stuff yet to come out, but here's the thirst traps that he put out, by the way.
I get it. She wanna come with me, I get it. She wanna come feel me, I get it. Diamonds that said you want it, I get it. Shawty wanna, I get it.
Yeah, it's with the rubbing on his face and stuff. Yeah, people are like, that's Dylan Mulvaney doing that. And then after people start making a lot of jokes, he did another one with the girl sitting on his lap and covering her face, which even then I'm like, yeah, but we don't know if that's actually a girl he's dating or if that's just some rando. It's just kind of hard for me to believe that there's so many girls who are into him, but then again, he's has a lot of money, he's young, he's got a lot of influence. It's really not crazy. People have thrown themselves on in front of guys for less. So what does all this mean? What does all this mean? It means that it affirms my suspicion and what I tell people. Like, I don't really trust a lot of male feminists, or really them in general. Men and women are different. You're going to bump heads and disagree on different things and how you see the outlook of life, and people who just want to capitulate to the female feelings to, I don't know, get kudos or points or whatever. It's like there's an agenda there. You're going to bump heads because, again, men and women are just different. And there's been too many times where I've seen these influencers who are like, I'm a feminist, I respect women, blah, 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 blah. And then they do something shady. So some time ago, there's a guy named Modern Warrior. He had over 1 million followers. He had a big platform. He was very racist. Like he was a Native American. And he'd be like, what's up, colonizer? And he was a far leftist. So there's reasons to cancel him, but how he treated women is like basically what ended him. Now, he actually slept with women, and there are girls he was with, and they didn't know about each other. And there was this other big influencer, Chelsea Hart, was also a big leftist, and she paid for her own ticket out to see him, and I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, the dude couldn't at least pay for your flight out for you guys to meet up? You paid for your own ticket? Like, okay. So they slept together, and then she found out that he was like hooked up with another girl like immediately kind of afterwards. And so she took to the internet and was talking about him. And if you ever seen a video of a woman going, you knew, that was Chelsea Hart, upset about Lance Tosi, his name, but his online name was Modern Warrior. And so she talked about how she was very vulnerable. She made posts about being concerned about whether she was pregnant or not, because apparently that's another dude that women just let go in without any protection. Again, I don't understand it. And she's older than these girls are. To my knowledge, they didn't sleep with Harry, but I don't understand. Ladies, you gotta break it down. You gotta break it down real simple. I mean, you gotta really break it down for me. I mean, crayons on the wall, finger paint. You got to break it down really simple for me to understand why you would sleep with a guy without him wearing a condom. Like, you really got to explain it to me. I don't understand. But she's like, I would have never opened up my body to you in such a way if I had known you're interested in other girls and you took advantage of my feelings, and I had opened up to you about these things that I went through. And she was talking about, and she started talking about losing a child, and people thought she meant a miscarriage, but it was really an abortion. So then people who were on her side, like politically, were mad at her for acting so emotional over an abortion rather than a miscarriage, because they're like, that's not the same thing. And obviously it's not the same thing. But it was just interesting, because then she started getting vocal about how horrible her abortion was, because she took the pill. And so she said she, it was so painful. She vomited in a pool of sweat. She vomited and woke up in a puddle of sweat, and that her baby came out in pieces. And it was, dramatic. She's still pro-choice, but people were upset that she even started being honest about how it felt, because they don't want people to discourage other folks from getting an abortion or whatever. So that was a big deal, because they're like, how could you treat Chelsea that way? You say that you're pro women, that you care about women, that you understand women, and you're just a dog. And so, he tried to kind of do the apology route, but it wasn't like a sincere, very good apology. And it ended up like really destroying his page. People started mass unfollowing him. But he came back, but from my understanding, he's, I think, still gone. So it just really destroyed his platform, his image, because he got outed as not being really for women and caring about women. Like, that was lip service. So Harry here is being exposed for, that's lip service. You're saying you care about women, you care about them more for just their bodies, and you're two-timing them, not even two-timing them, 11 timing them. And and when you get caught, and I wonder if he did that knowing that there's all these girls he had been talking to, and then to put out those thirst traps, was that to like, it wasn't a smart thing to do, obviously. So was it to incite them to, or to mock them in a way? Or was he just not thinking? I mean, he is young, if I was just juggling all those chicks, I just I guess I wouldn't do that, but it's just a lot of things I wouldn't do if I was in these situations. But it just seems really boneheaded, especially if you didn't think that they were going to come out and talk. Now, once you get really high and you get delusions of grandeur, like maybe he just kind of deems himself as untouchable, and that this thing is going to blow over. And maybe it will. Maybe it will. People are talking about it right now, but I just don't really think it's damaging enough to take him down, because these people are fans of him because he's a professional liar. So these girls are upset, but there's other people who are going to be like, he's a young man who was just talking to girls, and they sent him the chats. He didn't like sneak into their rooms and watch them sleep like Edward Cullen or something. Like, they sent them to him, and unless we find some girls who are like underage and that he groomed them underage or whatever, everybody, from my understanding, are adults. So one side of the coin, or one part of the story, is that a lot of these male feminists you can't trust. They're saying things to get close to women, but they don't actually respect them to the degree that they claim, even as they go out and they condemn people on the right. They condemn Republicans and all kinds of different folks for not being pro women, and they don't really they use them for their own gratification and treat them as objects. So he's being exposed in that kind of way. But there's something else to the story, and I can't really talk about this without being a bit negative toward these girls. is that another big thing about the left is they talk about the agency of the woman and respect the woman and etc. blah blah blah. Like that's the most important thing, her choices and so on. So these women, they did make choices to send those Snapchats, to talk to Harry, to slide into his DMs, to let him, like what the one girl who said, "Oh, just so you know, I've been a victim of, of this, and if you need my perspective." I'm like, man, she's just feeding him, you know, it's like she's just a lamb feeding him other pieces of lamb to get him ready to consume the lamb that she is, you know. She's just preparing the feast. It's like she's lathering herself up with herbs and spices and oil. And but those are obviously unwise decisions, but they were decisions that these girls made. Is he a manipulator? Is he a liar? He seems like just a standard liar. I don't know that I've seen like master manipulator cult sort of giftings in these threads. It just seems like girls who made bad dumb decisions for a rich influencer guy who's a jerk. And he's always been a jerk. So a lot of people on the right are like, this kid's always been a bad kid. He's always been a sleaze. He's always been a scumbag. He's always gaslit people, lied to people. He gets paid to do that. He says untrue things all the time and doesn't care. He's called out by people. He's done some shady stuff in the past. We are so not surprised. The most surprising thing is that there are girls who liked him. And that he likes girls in return. That's like that's the thing on the right that people are surprised by. But my takeaway here is, you still can't trust liars. You can't trust male feminists. Please don't put yourself out there and do all these crazy stuff on the internet. But if you do decide to do things, like, he needs to take accountability, or he can take accountability. If he doesn't want to take accountability, people see that he's not taking accountability, and then they can make a decision on whether or not they want to follow this man. But they have already made a decision, many of his followers, to follow a liar. Like, it's a feature, not a bug. It's a feature, not a bug, that this kid is a liar. He's not even a very gifted liar. So I don't know how well he could have manipulated these girls. Maybe, because it's just blatantly on screen. He's not very good at. I don't think he's very good at manipulation. It seems very easy to poke holes in the propaganda that he spews, but there's a gullible audience out there, and a lot of them are young, and a lot of them are women. A lot of them are women. But I don't think it's fair to treat it like it's a Me Too thing, unless there's, like, we start getting to, like, I don't know, criminal sort of level type stuff. And I haven't seen anything like that yet. I'm not saying it's not out there. I just I want to leave that door open because I don't want any egg on my face. But this it just really seems like the shady stuff is that he lied to these girls, but they did make a decision to engage with him. And a lot of these girls are still lefties. And I just think they need to reevaluate who they follow, why they follow them. And they made some bad decisions. They just did. So Anna said Harry's a little dweeb who has never fact check and spreads nothing but lies. People do fact check him all the time on TikTok and stuff, but he has a huge following. So and people, you have to fall into the right kind of algorithm to see the stuff, but he puts out a lot of content like all the time, but some of it is so dumb. Like I've stitched a couple of Harry videos, but people on the right, as soon as they see his face, even if it's a stitch, they're like, well, scroll, I don't want to, they didn't want to deal. Someone said, oh no, is yet another leftist male is a scumbag, color me surprised. That's just a reaction on the right. Like no one is really surprised about this. So Dean Withers, he's the blonde kid who's debated on Jubilee. He said he hasn't really come out strongly against Harry, but he said that it doesn't look good and he's disappointed, and that he wants to get some more information before he really speaks up about it, but he's also playing to his audience too. I'm cautioning people out there to not trust Dean either. Dean Withers, he had like a e-scam sort of thing going on before he got into like the debate sphere, and it was like e-rich lifestyle, trying to like market some stuff like Andrew Tate kind of stuff to like get rich quick kind of scheming things. So like life coach, blah blah blah. So he's been looking for a way to get money, like I guess most people, a lot of people online anyway, but I don't know how sincere these people are in their beliefs, and I don't love always having to question it, because I don't like when people question me, though I have been a conservative for, I don't know, 25 years or whatever, so I don't know, I'm pretty consistent in my worldview, but a lot of like their tactics and how they debate and what they talk about, I think a lot of it just is money grabbing, and it's how they enrich themselves. And there's been other people who've been on TikTok who have gone off the wagon and kind of gone into more obscurity, who have in the past got caught admitting that they say a lot of things for views to get money. So I just really caution people about who you follow, but definitely do not send explicit stuff over Snapchat. Like I don't do it at all. I would say that's my advice. Talk to your dads, talk to your brothers. Don't get played by dudes on the internet. And of course, a lot of these folks are going to be talking to different girls, and it's just kind of how it is. But I wonder if let me see if there's any interesting quote tweets from this story that I want to show you guys before moving on. Prison Mitch had so many like jokes. Harry Sisson paying women to make up false allegations so we stop calling him gay. Tim Pool said, no quarter. Harry lives by these rules and wants them for you. He's a predator by his own standard. So, some folks are like, you reap what you sow. Someone said, you're telling me an internet political celebrity is a bad manipulative person. This is such a shock. Nothing like this has ever happened before. So, 13 million views on a N-word getting me too'd for having H's. So a lot of people are just like, it's not that big of a deal. Harry Sisson talking to his boys about his glorious heterosexual exploits. This is a clip from I think 40-Year-Old Virgin. I think I've seen that movie once. I don't know what this clip is, but
when you grab a woman's breast and you feel it, and it feels like a bag of sand when you're touching it.
Bag of sand.
You know what I mean. Why don't we just play? Why don't we just deal the cards?
No, what are you talking about?
Have you ever felt a breast before, man?
Yes.
Dude, are you gay?
No, I'm not gay. I've been with tons of women, you know, and like
So there's things like that. Harry Sisson is straight, like like the shocked. There's a lot of jokes like that. This is some of the crew. Parker, Harry, Chris. I don't know who that kid in the very back is, and Dean. Yeah. Someone said a 20-year-old male engaging in consensual sexual conversation with an adult female is a non-story. The vilification of standard male sexuality among liberals is one reason why young men are fleeing liberal parties across the world. You know, it's only really a story because I do think it's important, I guess, that the girls talk about it, because I would hate for other girls to get played by him. For sure, and I think he should be exposed for being a liar, but I don't want people to make it seem like everything seems like it was consensual, I guess. And they were lied to about his intentions, and he led them on, and he's a dog. But if anyone tries to put on the implication, I think that he's like a predator who's who like me too'd. I don't think it's that. So yeah, let's someone said that's the thing. You virtue signal like Gotham City is calling you, but inside you're a joker. Yeah. Yeah. Just really be respectful to women, like, but I think there's something wrong with the fact that women would want to send these things, and I think there's something wrong with dudes wanting to accept them. I think we should have a more modest society, and definitely a wiser society. It's just let's just throw like the ickiness of what I think is immoral like out of the way. It's just not smart. It's just not smart, and women need to protect themselves more than that. Like, as much as we talk and have had conversations about sexual predators, especially in the past couple of years, you would think that people wouldn't do this. So I at least let that be a lesson that is learned going forward, at least for a little while. That's all I gotta say right now. So I think I did actually show this Chuck Schumer video the other day. But I wanted to go ahead and play it again for you guys, because I don't think we talked that long about it. And the more I just thought about it, the more like annoyed I got.
And you know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, my the land and water that I own, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united. Okay, good.
So the other day we talked about how the Democrats have a 29% favorability rating, and this was a huge scandal for Obama back when he said you didn't build that. And this is worse than that, and he doesn't have the kind of cool swag that at least Obama had. Like, there was people on the right who would say, like, I don't really like Obama's politics, but I kind of like him, though. I didn't understand them. Like, nah, I don't like him, period. I don't like Obama, period. I don't like him. So, but some people liked him, even on the right, you know. Chuck Schumer is just, he's like, I want to say lizard person. I know someone got mad at me because I on TikTok because I called him like a lizard person, and they're like, that's a Jewish trope or something. I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to know that? I call lots of Democrats lizard people. Like Nancy Pelosi is like the first person that comes to mind when you think lizard person, but I did a video when he was like trying to grill the hot dogs or hamburgers or something, and I don't think it was on, but they did a picture that they posted on social media, and he just got reamed for it. And so I'm like, this is so like alien trying to pretend that he's, you know, human and to relate to people when, you know, it's not true. So I don't know why people stage photos like that. There's got to be something in your real life that you do that can relate a little bit, or just show yourself working or whatever, not like fake grilling hamburgers. But anyway, he's not like Obama, and Obama got a lot of blowback for that. So going on The View, I know a lot of people watch it. I don't know how many people watch it to hate watch it, but it's got real fans, I guess. But you're trying to relate to the American people. You guys have an issue with even your side liking you at the moment, and you go on there to chew out workers, to chew out people who have built something, who built up companies, to say you're greedy if you want to stop the government from taking more of your money so they can go spend it on garbage. People who have to build their own businesses do not get the luxury of having it continuously fail and then confiscating money from other people so they can still keep it going and pay themselves. Like Chuck Schumer gets paid. He's been in there for a long time, but on the taxpayer's dime. And when they can't get their budget together, they cry and they whine and they pass something anyway, and they raise the debt ceiling or whatever, and they put our children and our children's children into further debt, and they still up their pay. They upped their pay not too long ago, and some people were really reaming them for it. They haven't had a pay raise in a long time. It's very expensive to live out in DC and blah 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 whatever. So you can kind of understand it. But when you have the audacity to come on The View and to talk about these people who pay your paycheck, who make it possible for you to have a job, who send you there to represent them, and you call them greedy because they want you to be better stewards of their money that you confiscate from them. It's pretty wacky. It's pretty wacky, and it's a no-brainer why they don't like you, Chuck. It's a no-brainer why you lost, why you guys can't find your footing. This is a crazy message. This is a crazy message. Okay? Okay? So people going along with it or plotting it or saying, I made my money all by myself. How dare the government take my money from me? Did the government help them? Like, even if you have a problem with people saying, I built that, I did that on my own. Well, maybe they didn't do it from your government money. Maybe they did it with the help of their dad giving them a loan, or maybe they did it with an investor, angel investor, something like that. Maybe it's a family business and they just worked by the sweat of their brow to put it together. People don't do everything alone, where nobody does alone. I'm thinking about Lost at the end. I think it was the final episode with Jack's dad. He's like, nobody does it alone, Jack. Nobody does it alone. Lost was a great TV show too. And I did like the ending. I know it was controversial, but I did like the series. And I felt I did understand the finale, and I found it satisfying, though there were some unanswered questions, but I thought they were mostly answered. But no, nobody does do it alone. But that doesn't mean that the government has the right to come in and call us all greedy and just take all of our stuff. Again, if you run a business and you're not profitable, you can take out some credit or whatever to try to pay people's salaries or to get by a little while, but eventually you're gonna lose your business. Government, they just keep on keeping on. Balance the budget for what? Cut spending for what? So they act in a way that there's no way we could act if we run and operate a business. And then they have the nerve to chew you out and to tax you more and to rob you of what you have, to print more money, to devalue your dollar in your pocket so he can bring more money home to New York so they can spend it on illegal aliens. It's just insane. It's just insane. So this is the route that the Democrats are going. They're still going this route here. Republicans, or I don't know how much Elon thinks himself a Republican or whatever, but the cool stuff is happening. Like the other day, the astronauts came home. SpaceX helped with that. They land in the ocean. There's dolphins around. Like there's people who build things and there's people who take. Elon is a builder. Chuck Schumer is a taker. And then he mocks people, the people that he's stolen from. That they vote to take more of the money. They mock those people and say, how dare you want more of what you've earned? That's the message. That's the message from these people. And then they have people like Harry Sisson go on TikTok to be their mouthpiece and continue to lie to girls while he's taking their Snapchats. They're just in great shape, the Democrat Party. Absolutely a phenomenal shape. Anyway, that's all the tea I got today. That's all the tea I got. Someone said, when I brought up the Chuck Schumer thing, they said a Jewish trope. It's a QAnon thing. I promise you, people have been saying lizard people thing jokes prior to the QAnon stuff coming out. I think it's we're big on sci-fi. At least my mom was really. I guess we're still big on sci-fi, but my mom was really big in sci-fi. So like V for well, I guess it was V, and then the new show was like V for Vendetta. I didn't really watch the original V. I did watch the one that came out a couple of years ago that I guess was more than a couple of years ago, but it got canceled after one season. And they had or maybe there was 2 seasons, but they had a crazy cliffhanger and they canceled the show. But I don't know, the lizard people thing has been going on for a while. But when I think lizard people, the first thought that comes to my mind is like Nancy Pelosi. But do QAnon people really think? They don't really think that people are lizards, though. I haven't. That's not a thing, is it? I don't think they believe some crazy things, but I don't think they actually think people are lizards. I don't think anyone is actually a lizard too. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Anyway, thank you guys. Please go to blacktnews.com, check out different content, website, articles, videos, etc. If you like what I do, please consider leaving a donation on the website because it does cost a stream on my site. All the good stuff you guys can't support. Very much do appreciate you guys. You guys can check out different merchants available, like the black tea mug. And we got the My Money, My Business shirt. We got the pro-choice men are sus shirt. You guys can go check that out. And some of my books I've written, there's a link in the description. It'll take you to the Amazon page if you're interested in any of that stuff. Thank you guys for I guess sipping on the tea today. I look forward to seeing how it all kind of falls apart. But I really, unless more damning things come out, I think Harry's gonna kind of maybe mostly get away with this unscathed, but I hope girls will be smarter than this. And they're saying, some of them are saying, I'm embarrassed that I did this. I'm embarrassed that I did this. But I don't know if they're embarrassed because he wasn't really the only one. It's genuinely not good behavior what they did. And I don't need for them to take accountability or whatever. I just in general would like women to be like, we shouldn't do things like that. That's what I hope the takeaway is. Not just everybody like, oh, we're such strong women coming together. Oh, we've bonded over this jerk. It's like you all can make better decisions for yourself. And by the way, if he could lie to you guys about all this other stuff, relationships wise, maybe he was lying to you about all the election stuff. Maybe. Think about that. Anyway, God bless you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.